If you've never thrown an event, there's this internal feeling of like, what if we're not accepted? What if we're not liked? What if it's something that's, you know, the what ifs? We're trying to do something that's not a part of the daily behavior in this community.
It was like, shit, now we have to deliver.
I do remember kind of like going on my phone and like seeing the photos, and I was like, yo, there's people outside.
The first undiscovered was like an explosion of people.
We're at capacity and there's a few thousand more people outside. And I was like, what? To be completely honest, we were afraid that we weren't even gonna have 2,000, 3,000 people.
We never saw a line like that ever wrapping around down to Market Street all the way down to like Mission Street going towards 6th Street. So it really showed that we kind of sparked the curiosity of our community of what Soma Filipinos could be and what is the undiscovered nature of being Filipino American.
So where we're at right now is basically the heart of the cultural district, because a lot of our cultural assets are up and down Mission Street, particularly the Bayanihan Center and the Bayanihan House. That's kind of the center of activity for most Filipinos in South the Market. There's also a lot of historical sites around here too.
One of my hunches of why we don't have a commercial corridor here in South the Market is that no one really had their eye on economic development. We had a lot of groups that were focusing on the arts, and that's why there's such a vibrant arts scene. There was a lot of groups focusing on neighborhood services, you know, making sure that our seniors were taken care of, or our troubled youth don't fall through the crack, or the most promising youth make it to college. But when it came to the idea of economic development, there was no organization that was really kind of advocating for that. And so our role in Kultivate Labs is to really turn economic development on its head so it actually works for our community instead of displacing our community.
Soma stands for the South of Market. It's a neighborhood that's really rich in culture. It's home to a lot of different communities of color. Soma has been home to Filipino people for 100+ years.
It's about building the cultural district. In the very end, it's about that. You know, like if you look at a Japantown or a little Saigon, there's a lot of businesses there. That's ultimately our goal.
We knew off the bat it was going to be a Filipino night market, but we knew that we wanted it to appeal to the entire city of San Francisco. So we purposely chose not to do something that was like Filipino language in the title. We wanted it to be really just like general and appealing to all of San Francisco. And then when people got there, they would know it's Filipino.
Filipinos were like the cool Asians, you know? It was this cool thing that was run by Filipinos.
After working Undiscovered this past season, yeah, blood, sweat, and tears, 16-hour days, like really trying to support and just like making it happen, I'm like, this is how we're gonna do it. I know that every effort I am making is towards something that is greater than me and greater than for my community, and that is just like, I did not imagine that I could be involved in something that amazing and that great.
For me, when I feel like the most stoked is when OGs hit me up and they're like, this is really great what you're doing, and it's really awesome to see that there are young people like taking the baton from us, and I don't have to worry so much anymore about where my neighborhood and our community is going. Like, I know that you guys got it. The culture is really the one thing that we all really have in common, you know, especially food and you know, and the cultural values, you know, hospitality, bayanihan, kapwa, you know, things that your parents teach you how to be. Without culture, there's really no community.
What we're doing is we're going to house the different brands that have been the most kind of successful at Undiscovered, to have them have a permanent place.
So the idea behind Republica, it's going to be 4 or 5 rotating retail pop-ups to really get them ready for the next level, which is opening up their own storefront along Mission Street.
It's not about throwing an event that people see as like, oh, about music and bringing people together all the time. We're trying to create this space that is really representative of this kind of burgeoning, you know, generation of Filipino entrepreneurs.